Aaron Glenn is now your mama's favorite New York Jets head coaching candidate. We'll explain why and go Irish. Wink.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Lesnan Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. Welcome to a Friday. Hope you guys are having a good week. January 10th, 2025, and you see the cap, baby. Go Irish, baby. I've had the great pleasure of watching a lot of Notre Dame football throughout my life with my father, and we've had some good old times, baby, some good old times. And earlier this season, we got to see the national champion representative Notre Dame Fighting Irish, baby, against Georgia Tech earlier this year. So shout out to my father. There was a very special moment watching Notre Dame open up a can of whoop ass on the Yellow Jackets. And we'll see what Notre Dame does this time. I remember they were in the national championship well over a decade ago. It was the 2012 season, the year 2013, and the Irish got their ass kicked by Alabama. So this time we're hoping for a better result. Getting our first national championship since the late 1980s, baby. It's time for the Irish to cash in. And terrific. Beautiful. My father. There it is, 32 years later, baby. So let's go Irish. Amen, brother. All right. Now let's get to this, baby. Let's get to this. Oh, how sweet it is. We have a full article in the YouTube description down below. Now, I'll tell you this, honestly. Aaron Glenn was already high on my list. He was already very high. We did a show on Tuesday ranking the most attractive Jets people, or let me rephrase that, ranking the most attractive candidates that have either already interviewed or are going to interview with the Jets, and Glenn was number one on my list. Okay? So again, Aaron Glenn was already high. But the most recent information should make Aaron Glenn the number one candidate on every list. In case you missed it last night, baby. Aaron Glenn received an interview request. Now, when you're working for another team, or even when you're not, they request to interview you. You can either accept or decline. And Aaron Glenn was offered an interview from the New England Patriots for their vacant head coaching position. And Aaron Glenn said, thanks, but no thanks. What a true Jet, baby. Telling the Patriots to go pack it. Now, it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the Rooney Rule anymore because the Patriots have already checked those items off the bucket list. I've seen a few people comment on that on social media saying, hey, they're not going to play the Rooney Rule game with the Patriots, and that would be a fine reason, too, to reject the Patriots. But it has nothing to do with that. They've already accomplished that with Pep Hamilton and Byron Leftwich interviews. So this is just straight up, he doesn't want to be a Patriot. And I just have to say, beautiful. We love you, Aaron Glenn. That's exactly what he said. Greg Rallo says, Aaron said, kick rocks, buddy. And here's the funny thing. Aaron Glenn is interviewing with every other opening available except the Patriots. This is terrific. I mean, that is awesome. So, Aaron, you want to earn some, or you want to curry some favor with Jet fans? That'll be a very popular decision, my friend. That'll be a very popular decision. So Aaron Glenn already said, hey, Patriots, kiss this, baby. No thanks. Beautiful. And we had Zach Rosenblatt on my show earlier this week. And he said the odds-on favorite to be the next head coach of the New York Jets is none other than Aaron Glenn, people. So he interviewed, by the way, yesterday. An important note, the Jets got the first interview with Aaron Glenn. They absolutely did. They got the first interview with Aaron Glenn, and now he's going to be interviewing with a bunch of other people. Let me see. I have it in the article. Here is his interview schedule. I can't believe he said no to the Patriots. That is hilarious. Anywho. All right, so he interviewed interview with the Jets yesterday afternoon. He interviews with the New Orleans Saints this morning. He interviews with the Las Vegas Raiders this afternoon. On Saturday morning, he interviews with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then Saturday afternoon, evening, he'll interview with the Chicago Bears. But number one, baby. But number one, we got him. We got him for that interview, baby. So there'd be nothing more. So that was awesome. Makes me feel even better about it. And folks, Aaron Glenn checks off nearly every box available that you're looking for a head coach. There are two boxes he does not check. There are two boxes that Aaron Glenn does not check, and quite frankly, he could never check. He can't check these, okay? Number one, he would be a first-time head coach. There's nothing he can do to change that. You know, it's like we talked about before. I need experience for the job, but I can't get the job without the experience. So, like, you know, he would be a first-timer. And I'll use a comment that my buddy Joe Caporoso, Jets analyst from Badlands, used. It's a little bit of coordinator roulette. Some coordinators work out as a first-time thing. Sometimes they don't. It is what it is. But again, I would say if you look at some of these guys out there among NFL head coaches, right? I'll just pull up the NFL standings here and just kind of gander around. There have been plenty of first-time head coaches. So let's go. Sean McDermott, coordinator head coach. He's a first-timer. Mike McDaniel, first-timer. Let me keep taking a gander around here to try to find somebody. Obviously, John Harbaugh there in Baltimore was a first-timer. He had never been a head coach before. I'm just good. Sean McVay, he's a first-timer and has been wildly successful. So the long story short, there's been successes and there's been failures in that department of first-timers. So he can't change that reality. If you say, hey, man, I want an experienced guy, Aaron Glenn, I guess, can't be your guy from that perspective. If that's where you are, fine. I don't think the Jets should be in or out on any specific quality. Experience, I understand why the Jets would be fearful of hiring another guy without experience because there is a little bit of learning on the job, figuring it out. And the other box that Aaron Glenn cannot and does not check is he is not an offensive coach. He is a defensive coach. That is true. And a lot of Jet fans don't want Aaron Glenn because they put him in this box. He'd be another first-time head coach. Whoop, put that in a box. And a defensive guy. Whoop. And people have called him another Robert Saleh. Just change his name is what people say. And, again, he can't do anything, I suppose, to change that reality. For instance, I see Matthias here. I'll throw this comment up. Boy Green, it's all about timing. There's no time for a first-time head coach, I would assume he's saying right now. I just want the right guy. I don't care about timing. To your point, I get it, that we would want a experienced guy, but we can't force a square peg in a round hole. Mike Vrabel would have been a wonderful, experienced head coach for the New York Jets. He would have been. But it seems pretty obvious that it's going to be either New England Patriots or Las Vegas Raiders for Mike Vrabel. It seems that way. And it is what it is. He would have been a wonderful hire, I'm not going to lie. You know, normally what happens if, let's say a girl goes out with you once, and then after that she's like, nah, I'm good. I don't want you. It's easy for the person that was the one who was dated for a second to go, I didn't want her anyway. I'm not going to say that about Vrabel. Everyone wanted Vrabel, of course. It just seems incredibly unlikely that that's going to happen. So what's the pivot? What's the alternative option? To me, that's intriguing. And look, R&R throws out and say it's all about the entire staff. Chris Spielman could be in the front office. I'm not sure how I feel about him as a general manager. His front office experience is a little light. He's been a special assistant to the CEO. And from what I hear from Lions people, while that made-up title sounds like, huh? What's that? From what I've heard from Lions people, he's had a really big role there in Detroit. So I don't know if I'd want him exactly. I don't know if I'd exactly want him as the general manager, but I'd want him in the front office. By the way, Hop on Pop this week will be on Sunday, people. On Sunday, not Saturday, on Sunday. So keep that in mind for your notes. Okay. Keep that in mind for your notes. But, yeah, man. So, long story short, there are 2 boxes Aaron Glenn can't check off, and that's true. First-timer head coach if he was to be hired. And, of course, he's a defensive guy. But let's not think about the boxes he doesn't check. Let's think about the boxes that he does. He comes from a winning program, a winning culture, and it's important to note that the Detroit Lions has sucked forever. They have an 0-16 team in their recent history, people. In the 21st century, since, roll out the date, 2000, I believe the year was 2008, but roll out the years of recency, the last 15, 20 years for the Lions, not too good, Bob. Not too good. And the Lions were able to get a new brass and turn it around. That should be inspiring to New York Jets fans. Very inspiring. So he comes from a current winning program, a current winning culture, the talk of the town. That's a friggin' positive. And I love that it's a team that had to turn it around. The New York Jets are the old school Detroit Lions, if you want to put it that way. So I love that for Aaron. There obviously needs to be a culture shift here. We're having penalties. We're having drama. We're having leaks. We're having this. We're having that. It's a disaster. We need an adult to enter the room. And Aaron Glenn, when you watch some of the Hard Knocks clips, when you watch some of the interviews, the Pivot podcast is another one. You can check that out. You start saying, like, man, I'm really believing in this guy. He brings that sort of chutzpah. Obviously, go to his acumen. That's another big piece of the puzzle. This guy has had 6 of his starting players on the defensive side of the ball hit injured reserve this year. 6. 6 out of 11 people have hit injured reserve for Aaron Glenn. And what Aaron Glenn has done has made chicken salad out of chicken shit. Jamal Adams, how about that, people? Jamal Adams got dusted off the scrap heap and plugged and played as a starter for the Lions at various points over the last couple of weeks. I believe he's no longer on the Lions. I believe they cut him, but you get the point. He just picked up random people off the practice squad. He had no choice. Practice squad, street free agent said, okay, I guess you will work. And he made chicken salad out of chicken shit. And in addition to that, this man has gotten into his bag as a defensive play caller to overcompensate for all the losses he's had. So look at what he's done on the field as a defensive coach. He is in his bag. So Aaron Glenn, defensive play calling. Aaron Glenn, motivator. Aaron Glenn, injuries, no problem. We can do this. Man, Aaron Glenn checks off a lot of boxes, man. There's 2 he doesn't. There's a lot of boxes he does. Again, I get it. I get why people are potentially fearful here of, again, defensive guy, first-time head coach. The important questions, as I asked about Rex Ryan and others, will be this, especially for a defensive guy. What's your quarterback plan? And what's your coaching staff going to look like? Hopefully he has the answers to those questions for the interview yesterday. Hopefully he had those. Does he know people from the Lions? Does he know people from the Saints? He's been a player in the league for an extremely long time. He's going to have to use those connections to get an interesting, bright offensive mind. It was like when Saleh was hired. Hey, man, who's coming with you? And he said, oh, Mike LaFleur, who should pops, but obviously it didn't work out for a variety of reasons. That'll be introductory press conference, Aaron Glenn. Hey, man, who's your offense coordinator? Who's the quarterback guru on your staff? And hopefully he's got a pretty good answer for that. So I am an AG guy, baby. I am an AG guy. Dave Briggs says there is no other Robert Saleh. He was a one-of-a-kind, terrible, awful head coach. By the way, he's getting multiple head coaching interviews this cycle, interviewing with Vegas and Jacksonville. Is Robert Saleh about to be a head coach immediately again? Wow. Okay, that could happen. That could happen. I could see that. Chef Kevin Gilbert, a.k.a. Fastest Food Review, says, I wouldn't be mad if we got Glenn. Okay, there you go. I wouldn't be mad. That's not bad. By the way, let's flip the banner, baby. Here's our current Boy Green raffle board leadership happening here. Our number 1 Austrian Jet fan is in first place with 46 gifted memberships. J-Boy at 45. Jimmy Jets at 30. DNY for Life, Devin at 28, and Fleur Lily and Big D with 11 gifted memberships so far this month. Every gifted membership gets you a raffle ticket or money equivalent. You can super chat, you can super sticker, you can PayPal, you can Venmo. It's all at BoyGreen25, baby, or feel free to utilize the YouTube hoopla to get involved, and you can also buy your own Boy Green Coffee Club membership. That is in the YouTube description down below. You enjoyed the show? We're live every single day at 7:30, plus additional shows. We'll be on with Jake Asman later today around 4 o'clock, so you guys can tune into that show. It cross-streams on both mine and Jake Asman's platforms, so feel free to check it out. I highly encourage it. And like I said, you can either buy your own Boy Green Coffee Club membership in the YouTube description down below of every video. It says you can join the Boy Green Coffee Club here. Boop. Costs $2.99, baby. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. If you'd like to give memberships, feel free to do so. You're watching on YouTube, hit the money sign. Final option it provides you. There's a bunch of options there. It says gift channel memberships. Click that. Give 1, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, baby. And get yourself some raffle tickets. Support the show. It's a double dip of great godly goodness, people. So make sure you get involved there. And let me throw this up here on the screen. What are you competing for? Well, for these wonderful prizes. Here we go. We've got a Aaron Rodgers Nike Atmosphere jersey, special heather gray color, up for grabs, baby. Plus a $50 Boy Green merch shop gift card and a custom laser engraving Jets Boy Green gift package extravaganza. And includes a custom license plate, custom pens, custom commemorative coin, and so much more, baby. Again, we will get one grand prize lucky winner, and we've got a bunch of prizes over the coming months that I think are going to tickle your fancy. So again, you want a chance, I highly recommend at least everyone that is a supporter and lover of the show at least buy one ticket so you have a chance. And for people that want to be more aggressive and increase their odds, of course, buy as many memberships as you can. That increases the chances that you can make some things happen, baby. That's for dang sure. So keep that in mind as we're keeping an eye out on that. Let me answer a few questions. I saw we had some draft-related questions. Well, by the way, yesterday, I know Notre Dame, the Irish, beat Penn State, but they got a couple of guys over there. I wouldn't mind with the first-round pick if they're still on the board. Let's go to a couple. Abdul Carter, the pass rusher out of Penn State. Now, Dane Brugler, NFL draft expert. We'll get Dane Brugler on this cycle. For sure, ahead of the draft. But Dane Brugler said Abdul Carter could suddenly be in the number 1 overall pick mix. Good Lord. So, which could shift quarterbacks around and everything else. That could be interesting. But the other guy's Tyler Warren, baby Gronk. I had Thor Nystrom on my radio show yesterday. He does college football and NFL draft content for Fantasy Life, Matthew Berry's product. And he had some wonderful things to say about baby Gronk. So, hey now. Very, very interesting. He could be a guy. He could be a guy. That's for sure. Greg here, and I'm glad that Greg brought this up because there's I don't get this often. Greg Baker says, not sure how I feel about a Giants book being exposed in your background there. Of course, he's talking about David Tyree's book right over here, The Catch. Okay. And behind all this hoopla, I got this Rob Mariano Survivor book I got to read. Shout out to my mother-in-law for that. I got an autographed Madden copy here. But behind some of these items right here is a autographed David Tyree football. Okay? And this is my Jet fandom, which, by the way, I might be selling this. If you know a Giants fan, I've got an autographed David Tyree book, The Catch, plus behind this in a football case, an autographed David Tyree football from the former Syracuse product himself, David Tyree. If you know a Giants fan, reach out to me. I might want to sell you that. But the reason why I got it initially is because I love the New York Jets. Obviously, I do a show about them every day. But I almost hate the New England Patriots more than I love the New York Jets, if that makes sense. And me being able to watch that Super Bowl, for it to be a Syracuse product, I've been living here in the Syracuse area for 17 years. There's just something sweet about the Patriots' demise. So I've enjoyed having that as part of the collection, long story short. I absolutely have. The autographed David Tyree book, and behind, again, some of the stuff in the front, there's an autographed David Tyree football in that football case. So I appreciate you bringing that up because no one ever brings that up. It's a good conversation piece. So that is the only non-Jets thing, I guess, in the collection. Because everything else, we've got the New York Sack Exchange autograph helmet. We've got a shout out to Captain Jet Baby. He made this custom Paul Esden Jr. Boy green hat, which was wonderful. That's a custom piece in my collection. We've got, let's see, right here, autographed Jets football. This is from me. I got, my dad took me to training camp in Cortland. We got the Sheldon Richardson. That's one of my favorite autographs of all time. He has the money sign Rich 91. I got an autograph, Jets football. I collected all those autographs myself. Let's see. We got John Riggins right here. Autographed John Riggins hat. Another training camp Jets hat. We got a lot of cool Jets merch. I am quite blessed. One of my best pieces, we'll see if somehow I can fit it here in the mix. One of my most prized possessions is a autographed Santonio Holmes jersey. I got to meet Santonio at Cortland, and we had a great conversation. He signed the jersey off my back. It was a really cool moment. I'd love to display that one somewhere in here, too. We'll see. A lot of hoopla. Let me keep going with your guys' questions here. All right. But yeah, Tyler Warren, Baby Gronk, or Zach Wynn called him TJ Hawkinson. I wouldn't be mad at that. That might be a trade back. For the Jets at 7. Maybe you could trade back a few slots to pick up a talented Warren guy. He's a big dude. Interesting proposal from Ephraim here. He said he'd team up Aaron Glenn with like a Doug Peterson as OC with head coach experience. Yeah, I think, again, the staff is going to be important for Glenn if he gets hired by the Jets, or quite frankly anywhere, no matter where he gets hired. It'll be important to build a staff. Head coach experience would be wonderful, and obviously specifically the offensive help. So Doug Peterson is a very interesting name. Philly Noodles asks, why not Dorsey? Also, Ray Agnew has not been requested by the Jets. Doesn't mean they won't be, but he has not been either. Reese saying, love the Notre Dame hat, BG. Yeah, baby. I've seen a lot of cool Notre Dame games in my life live, and my dad's been a diehard Notre Dame fan my entire life. And then I've been sort of a Syracuse transplant, so I support Syracuse because we moved here 17 years ago, became season ticket holders. So because of that, I have some Syracuse love too. Michael Fox also reveals that Aaron Glenn has a scouting background. So he's a player for 15 years. 8 of those 15 seasons were spent with the Jets. After his playing career, he spent 2 years with the Jets as a scout, and then he got into coaching. He's been in coaching ever since. So yeah, he's got a very well-rounded resume. Easy says he isn't feeling well today, so we send our love out to Easy. Reese says he's seen a mock draft for the Jets take a defensive player from Georgia. Yeah, that could be Michael Williams, but either way, a defensive guy is probably most likely because that'll be the BPA available, I imagine, at that spot. And someone sent me, I think it was Wild Wave in the Discord, sent me a screenshot that the Jets interviewed Aaron Glenn, and obviously they posted it everywhere, their Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. And Quentin Williams gave the fingers crossed emoji, and Zach Rosenblatt told me here on the show that a lot of players in the building support him. So they must have asked, walking around the media room, hey, now that the coach is going to be fired, hey, how do you feel about this guy, maybe off the record or something? And that worked well. Yeah, Prestige Shogun said exactly what I said. Trade down, get more picks, draft Tyler Warren. That could totally be on the board for the Jets. Keep that in your head. Keep that in your head, people. That could totally be on the board for the New York Jets. I could totally see that happening. Prestige Shogun says Ben Johnson isn't an option for us, thankfully. Guy's not built to survive in New York. Yeah, we did a show on that earlier this week. Basically, Ben Johnson got it out into the ethos that he has zero interest in the Jets, and the Jets, of course, did not publicly request him because he could decline it, and it would look bad. At the beginning of the show, we just made fun of Aaron Glenn, or not made fun of Aaron Glenn, made fun of the Patriots because Aaron Glenn declined their interview request. That only looks bad on you, if that. So the Jets, and really most teams, I don't know how that happened with the Patriots, but most teams can put feelers out there to see if their request would be accepted or declined. And if it would be declined, they don't submit the request because that would look bad. I heard someone else ask about Ben Johnson a few days ago, so I'm glad we kind of got to circle back to that. Saleh can win games in another franchise, my Holy King says. We'll see if that's true. He could get another op. I like Saleh the person, but The results are the results. What was he? 20-36 as head coach? Not good. Mike Roach says, or Roch. Mike Roch, I remember now. Mike Roch says, I think we're getting Brian Flores. Could be. Yeah, he's on the interview list. Greg Rallo says, somebody give Chucky a chance. Tom Pelissero said he's going to be a guy that gets a lot of action. I don't think I've seen him get an interview yet, but it's possible. Yeah, James Franklin never wins games. And by the way, again, I'll get more into this on the radio show this morning in Syracuse, but Penn State got bailed out by so much bullshit. Drew Aller intercepted in the end zone. Flag. Drew Aller intercepted in the end zone. Flag. They had so much bullshit. The refs, the clear missed holding where the Notre Dame guys getting choked out. How do you miss that very obvious and blatant holding? Unbelievable. Yeah, I guess Drew Aller ain't coming out of school, so people can kill that dream, I guess. Ben Owens here on YouTube. Hey, my brother, Boy Green, are we going to draft a quarterback, do you think? Absolutely. Where? That's up to interpretation. Probably no one's going to be there at 7. I guess if you start getting crazy shit, like Abdul Carter could be the number 1 overall pick. You have Travis Hunter. He's going to go. Mason Graham. You start going through the guys. Maybe one of those top 2 quarterbacks falls to you. Now, you have to do your homework. I'm not just saying because one of those 2 are on the board, you have to run up and take them. That's not what I'm saying at all. But with how things could potentially shift between now and then, one of the top 2, which is Cam Ward out of Miami or Shadur Sanders, could be available. And if they are, you have to make sure you do your P's and Q's. You can't be on draft day. Hey, why is Bo Callahan on the board? Bo Callahan. You got to make sure you do your homework. So hopefully the New York Jets do their homework on this class. And this is kind of how I feel about the quarterback class at this current moment. Opinions can change. I don't want the Jets trading up for either of these guys, even though Cam Ward's a little interesting. If they're on the board where you are, great, awesome, let's roll. And if they're not, okay, take BPA. There should be a good pass rusher. There should be a corner. There should be a defensive tackle. There should be a defensive end. There could be a right tackle. There's all kinds of options for the Jets. I don't think they need to trade up. They can trade back. We talked about Tyler Warren, so yeah, man. Wow, Zach Quinn says Abdul Carter will be Anderson-esque. We'll see if he ends up being the number 1 overall pick. I think his chance of falling to 7 decreased last night with his terrific game. Ben Owens, tell Notre Dame to join a conference already. Ben, let me ask you this, Benny, if I can. Ben, Notre Dame's in the national championship game, not being in a conference. Do you think this is going to motivate them to get in the conference? I think not. And by the way, James Franklin, thanks for the fuel. While Marcus Freeman was on the same podium as you saying, all teams should have to be in conferences, play conference championship games. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish has their own deal with NBC. They've got a loose relationship with the ACC for a lot of the football scheduling. Notre Dame can schedule whoever the hell they want. Notre Dame is in a different class and people are jealous. That's the truth. Why in God's green earth would they ever join a conference? And it's a great recruiting tool. Marcus Freeman said that on the Rich Eisen show, excuse me. You could play USC, you could play Ohio State, you can play Syracuse, you could play all these teams. It's awesome. So, hell no, Notre Dame ain't going to no conference. And hey, they had to take the open sacrifice. They weren't eligible for a bye in this new college football playoff rules as they currently stand. So, hell no. Hell no. Come on, man. Come on. FL Phil 98, by the way, a good friend of the program, a loyal member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. Byron Leftwich was an obvious Rooney Rule interview, and so was Pep Hamilton, for that matter. But that's not what FL Phil 98 said. That's just my additional comment. But more from FL Phil 98. The Patriots wanted Glenn to be their legitimate minority candidate, and he knew it. They would have hired Vrabel the next day. It certainly feels like that could happen with Vrabel being hired tomorrow or Saturday. So, yeah, he said, oh, hell no. And maybe he just hates the Patriots, which I'm all about. Yeah. Peter Castro says, I'm a Flores guy, but Glenn is growing on me. That's kind of how I had it. I had different guys. Again, I'm a Todd Monken guy, but they have not requested an interview him yet, so I have to shift it. I had Vrabel at number 2, but again, that's not going to happen. I was intrigued by Ben Johnson, but I'm glad that everything all worked out, or he doesn't want them, they don't want him. Okay, let's move on. And then Glenn. So I'm getting one of my top 4 guys. So yeah, of hope. I don't know if they're going to hire him or not, but that'd be great. Or groovy, as Greg says. Glenn is groovy. That'd be great, too. Josie Jet, Ryan Leonard is still my mid-draft guy. He's a tough-as-nails guy. He doesn't throw consistently down the field. I'm a little worried about the consistency of the passing game. He's a tough SOB. I love what he's been able to do for Notre Dame, coming over from Duke. It's all been great. I'm not sure if I love him for the Jets, but, I'm a Kyle McCord guy personally. We'll see. He's applying for another year of collegiate eligibility. I will see if he gets that. Drew Aller's a major project. He's going back to school. Brandon Ace, Tyler Warner, the top 10. I guess it's possible. Brock Bowers went, 10th? No, wait. So 10, 11, 12, 13. He went 13th, I believe, off the top of my head. So, no, I think he could trade back to get Warren, to be honest. But maybe he works his way into the top 10. You never know. Zach Quinn says, I'm not typically fond of taking a 10 in round 1, but I would take Warren anywhere in round 1. Wow. Yeah, huge praise. There you go, Philly Noodles. Carmelo Anthony, NCAA Championship. Go Orange. 2003, baby. So it's been great to be here in the Salt City of Syracuse. Good time. Did Easy have a bad breakfast? That's possible. Bijan here. Do we think Glenn partially rejected the Patriots because of their Rooney Rule shenanigans? FL Phil 98 believes so because he could be a legitimate minority candidate. But again, in all honesty, they've already checked everything off the Rooney Rule that they need. So technically, whatever interview with Glenn would have happened doesn't fulfill anything. Maybe a perception standpoint, I guess, but yeah. And maybe it's just what I'm hoping is it's just an ex-Jet said, hey, Patriots, fuck you, buddy. That would be nice. Reese says Notre Dame might win the chip. Hey, they're in the national championship. They got a chance. We'll see what they do with it. I'll enjoy watching that virtually with my father. My holy king. What makes people think Ben Johnson will be a good head coach? What makes people think Aaron Glenn will be a good head coach? It's all, again, coordinator roulette. Some coordinators will work out. Some coordinators won't. Who knows? People just think he's a great play caller. Now, a great play caller doesn't necessarily make a good head coach. So, we'll see. Again, no matter what coordinator you fight for, it's all the same thing. We'll see what happens. Reese says we won't get Mason Graham from Michigan only if we trade up. We'll see. And I wouldn't talk in absolutes because crazy shit happens all the time. Do you think the Jets were going to get Garrett Wilson at 10th overall? Did you think the Jets are going to get this guy or this guy or this guy? Look across draft history of whether or not you thought the Jets are going to get this guy or that guy. Players slip in the draft all the gosh darn time. It happens all the time. So, Lane, do you bring back Aaron Rodgers? Again, a question we'll all be asking ourselves over and over again every time. I leave that decision up to the head coach and GM. Of course, ending the season with the 4 touchdowns, everything is exciting, but there's a lot of extra hoopla to Aaron Rodgers that will have to give a coaching staff pause because he's not just a player on your team on a Madden roster. Cool, Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot to the Aaron Rodgers experience, which may make some other people say, I'm not so sure. Prestige Shogun, BG, I just want a tough guy coach in here. I'm sorry, but I don't want another Mike McDaniel where our players walk all over the coaching staff and destroy the culture. Yeah, that stuff wouldn't fly with me. Tyreek Hill basically quit on his team at the end and said, I'm outie, and then they try to talk him off a ledge. I don't know about all that. Dave Briga, Drew Aller needs a lot of seasoning. Imagine him on the Jets at this point. Ooh, no, I do not. Again, I think he's going back to school, and he should. That was awful. He looked god-awful last night. Brandon Ace is a Will Howard fan. Okay, I see Jackson Dart love in here. All right, I guess. R&R, if Sanders drops to us, are you taking him? I don't know. I'd have to know what else is on the board. And that's, I guess that's whatever you call it. A cop-out answer is what they say. But no, it depends on who else is on the board. Is Abdul Carter on the board? Is Mason Graham on the board? Is, Kelvin Banks the right tackle on the board? I don't know. I don't think Sanders is available for us. He could be, I guess. Right? Brandon Ace says the Giants would draft him. I think there's a chance that Abdul Carter could go up there. Obviously, Travis Hunter is going to go up there. But there just seems to be too many quarterback-needy teams. Like the Raiders are desperate for a quarterback. They pick one pick ahead of us. I imagine they're going to take whatever quarterback's available. The Giants are desperate for a quarterback. And then you go through those combinations, and, well, those are the two quarterbacks that everyone says are in the mix for things to happen. And look at this, baby. Ed Gaston Vargas, baby, with a 10-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Let's freaking go, Ed. We love to see it, baby. Beautiful 10 raffle tickets, baby. And this is Ed Vargas's first gift of this cycle, baby, which we appreciate. That is 10 raffle tickets towards our contest, buddy. We appreciate it. Yes, freaking sir. Let's read the 10 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club that have just joined us, baby. Appreciate you, Ed Vargas, joining us here on the gifting. What a guy, baby. What a bleeping guy. Shout out to our boy, Ed Vargas, baby. Again, 10 raffle tickets to our big grand prize giveaway. One lucky winner will win all of our prizes at the end of the month, and we might have a special Super Bowl giveaway next month on top of our normal monthly giveaway. So hope you guys are really enjoying these, and we've got some more special gifts that'll be hopping on. So we're going to try to do as many, like I said, as we can to give back to the wonderful fans. That's what we would love to be able to do. Here we go. Here are the 10 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Shout out to Nick Caps, KG131, Steven Marzuke, Steve232, Jet Base Girl at Work. Oh, hey now. Shout out to you. Rudy Hartman, Joe Farrow. Let me make sure. It skipped here. Shearsy29 and Richie and Zachary Berner. And there's your new 10 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club, baby. Shout out to you, Ed Vargas. Appreciate you, champ. Thank you. Again, I can't wait. We're going to be headed up to another Jets game in 2025, baby. And we'll keep you guys all posted. Again, a good place to be posted is in our Discord. If you're a member to the Boy Green Coffee Club, you get access to our Discord channel where we're going to be picking games and talking about possibilities. One possibility is Jets Cowboys, baby. It could be up there. Could be up there. My Harley King says teams will be interested in Rodgers. He's not retiring. There's enough quarterback scarcity that you'd think somebody would dip their toes in that water. Let's go. June, the GM here, says Miller in the second round is a project that can pan out in a year or two. For coach, it's Glenn or bust at this point. I've heard the Connor Rodgers, Trevor Sikkema people think he's going to go in third or fourth round now based off the awful year he had. But maybe the stock rises on those kind of players. Again, we got a big offseason process to happen, pro days, combine, all that. And maybe in a pair of shorts, he could kind of bump his stock up to the second round. We'll see. We'll see who QB3 really is in this class anyway. Bill Sherman, I like that combination of Tet McMillan and Garrett Wilson. That could be a wonderful wide receiver combo. Connor Rodgers did that on the NFL SE, NFL Stock Exchange podcast, and I don't hate that at all. That's why I'm saying there's so many options for the Jets at 7 that I don't really need to trade up. Tet McMillan, Mason Graham, Will Johnson, Kelvin Banks, Abdul Carter. I mean, go Travis Hunter if he was on the board. He won't be on the board, but you know what I mean? Just go through the names. There has to be enough names of players that hit that by the time you get to 7, you're getting a blue chip guy. So all friggin' day, baby. Please sign me up. Sign me the hell up. I friggin' love it. Yeah. Phil, who's next in line to interview? I don't have the interview schedule. I don't even know if the Jets have the interview schedule of who's next. I don't know if that's public consumption yet. We just got to go. We just got to go kind of day by day as Adam Schefter and these insiders tweeted out of like, oh, Glenn's interviewing this day. This guy's interviewing this day. They're down there in Palm Beach, so they're getting a lot of these GM head coaching interviews done. Again, we can't do a in-person one for another 10, 11 days. So it's probably even longer than that. My brain's probably off because we got wild card weekend and then, no, it's probably somewhere in there, like 10, 11 days. It's like the January 20s, somewhere in the early January 20s, I believe. Terrence Hill's all about that Jets-Cowboys game, Paul. Yeah. My father, that'd be a juicy one. That's at MetLife. That'd be a fun one. So that's an early one to circle. We'll see. Again, we don't know exactly when the games will be until May, but that'd be a lot of fun. That'd be a fun one. Cowboys fans are crazy, so I'd love that one. Yes, Spags is coming. I don't think the Jets announced that one. I could double check, but I don't think they announced that one. By the way, we got 500 people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, baby. Spread the gospel of all things Boy Green Daily here on the show. Yeah, I'm gonna take a gander. I don't think they announced. I saw they interviewed Ray Farmer. He's a LA Rams guy. He was on the GM position, so he interviewed yesterday. Mike Borgonzi interviewed on the 8th. Matt Nagy on the 8th. So no, Spags' interview has not happened yet. They interviewed Alec Hallaby. That was the 8th. He's the Eagles analytics guy. Let me see. That's it. So yeah, Spags has just been rumored at this point. That one's not official. That one's not official yet. So keep an eye on that one, folks. That one is not official. Taylor saying, how did having the best tight end in football help with the Raiders this year? That's a good point. Yeah, Brock Bowers put up crazy historic numbers, and they sucked. So, and I agree. No Spags. He's too old. Old balls. Old balls. Same thing with Philly Noodles. No Spags. Yeah, he's one of the best defensive minds of this era in terms of the coordinators, but no. Ed Vargas says, great show with Ian yesterday. I love Ian, man. Jet Central. You guys should totally make sure you're throwing your love and support at him. I'm glad. I wish we got to do shows more often. We're both busy and different work schedules and stuff. But I love Ian. So if you guys missed that, we do shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 o'clock. Boy Green meets Woody. And we had Ian from Jet Central on. I love JC. He's a different kind of Jet fan, and I love it. He has a different style than me. I really enjoy Ian. 100%. Ian's great. So, yeah, if you guys missed that yesterday, we just kind of hem and hawed for an hour about head coaching interviews, people they haven't requested yet that they should, and kind of, going through the news. And then, obviously, the news we talked about is the Las Vegas Raiders fired Tom Telesco. So they've got a GM opening, and they now rival the Jets as a team that's got a head coach and GM opening. They did it in a very weird and obnoxious way of like trotting Antonio Pierce out at the podium on Monday. He's like, I'm safe. Then he gets fired. And they were like, oh, okay, he's the only one who gets fired. And then Tom Telesco gets fired yesterday. Like they're an unorganized idiot sandwich mess with how sheepishly they're doing this thing. They're just whatever your decision is, which is fine. You're a multi-billion-dollar organization. Have conviction. Okay, Pierce and Telesco, you're out. We need to get going with the process here. The fact that they're like, oh, I guess we'll get rid of Pierce. A couple days go by. Well, I guess we'll get rid of Telesco. And people are saying, well, maybe that's because, head coaches that wanted in didn't want Telesco being there. Well, okay, obviously no one wants them to be here. So come on, man. Come on, what are we talking about here? So, unbelievable. All right, we'll open up the phone lines here in just a second. Let me see. Yeah, stopping the run. I would love to do that. That would be an important piece of the puzzle. Terrence Hill said Ian from Jet Central was the first content creator that came up on my page. He's a good guy. I love it. All right, why don't we do this? We'll take a quick HEP phone call timeout, and then up next, your phone calls to end the show. Let's roll.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking just football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets. Boy Green.
And everybody, make sure you're liking the video. That is a free way to contribute on today's show, and it helps spread the algorithm to the rest of the New York Jets land so other Jet fans can discover the show, just like Terrence discovered Ian from Jet Central as a random example. And again, if you have the shekels in your pocket, feel free to join the Boy Green Coffee Club, support the show, and become a member of the family. That'd be great. Hey, Ed Vargas just gifted 10 memberships a little bit ago. He's got 10 raffle tickets to our wonderful giveaway, and we're trying to give back to the fans every single month, and we're attempting to do that with one lucky grand prize winner, again, that we'll pick at the end of the month. We still got the rest of January here as well. Let's go to the phone lines. We've got NY Jets FL here on the show. First, what's up, buddy? Yeah, 1 second here. Oh. Okay, yeah, I think I got you. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I don't either. I can just hear you. 1 second. Let me see if I can. All right, hang on tight, everybody. We'll see. I don't know. There must be an issue here. Ah, there you go. Got you on the screen now. Yeah, that was weird. I'm like, am I the only one who can't see you? Because I could all of a sudden hear you, so I thought it worked. Okay, now we're all here. Here we go.
Maybe we're better off not seeing me every day. Paul, morning. I
Yes,
wonder
good
if the
morning.
Marcus Friedman calls are going to get strong for certain teams. I don't know, maybe a little early for him, but I mean, there's going to be a big outcry, especially if Notre Dame pulls off the championship. He's a young guy. He played in the NFL. I don't think he's got the experience, but who knows, but the, sorry, you want to comment on that? Go ahead.
Yeah. The only thing I was going to comment in and shout out to Peter Schrager. He is the first time I've ever heard of Marcus Freeman's name in NFL circles for a head coach. And he mentioned very early in the process, like, "Hey man, watch out for the Chicago Bears and Marcus Freeman." I went, "Whoa, that's out of left field." And then Freeman got his contract extension. I said, "Oh, maybe never mind." Although, as we all know, that doesn't prevent a team from getting what they want if they really, really want it. So, and plus, all things considered, by the time the national championship game gets played and their season's over, he would have plenty of time. And NFL teams are all going to have their vacancies still open for the most part. So, yeah, Freeman's got an op. Yeah, he'd be a very intriguing guy. We talk about, potentially hiring guys a year or two early, but just to get the right guy, that'll be very intriguing.
Yep, I would say so. Hey, Paul, one of the last commenters about stopping the run was my point in my call, which was the Jets should look at Kenneth Grant if a lot of these players off. He's a defensive tackle from Michigan, a big, athletic run stopper, middle of the guy like Jalen Carter type, Vita Vea. And I went back, and I don't know if people know who Vita Vea is, but Vita Vea has 7 sacks this year. Okay.
Wow.
The guy, disruptor, we need a run stopper and a disruptor in the middle. And maybe it's time that we're done with piecing one together and saying, oh, well, let's sign a 1-year guy, 30-year-old guy, coming off of, let's get a blue chipper next to Quinnen, like the Eagles do. And they seem to do well with that. Vita Vea ran a 5.15. Looked it up. Vita Vea ran a 5.1, 5.40. Jalen Carter ran a 5.1. Okay.
Wow.
If Kenneth Grant can run, I'm not saying a 40 is like the be all for everything. Sure. But if he runs a 5.1 ish around there, and you see that guy move, because I've watched some of that Michigan tape, the guy's a freak. I would take that guy all day long.
I would love to invest resources because the Jets, to your point, have just been slapping around for the last couple of years trying to find running mates next to Quinnen, whether it's Javon Kinlaws or Likey Fotus or Quentin Jeffersons, and others have had success. Al Woods. Some of those players I've mentioned have had success and some haven't, but maybe it's time for the Jets to actually invest some premium resources next to Quinnen to solve the issue once and for all and stop dilly-dallying here. That'd be something that I would highly encourage. Stopping the run is the most demoralizing thing when you can't stop the run and teams could just run the ball down your throat and there's nothing you could do about it. That's, again, an offense that commits to biting the sheets and just running the football and you can't stop it. That, again, demoralizing is just the word that continues to pop up in my head. And I want the Jets to be a tougher outfit and a tougher football team, and stopping the run's a big piece going toward that.
I think that's one of the reasons the Flores and the Glenn rumor, are very high because our defense failed us this year. I mean, on every level, and I know a lot of it is coaching, but we don't have the talent in the front. JFM is a nice player, but if you get a blue chipper, you get some nice blue chip players in there. Like I said, also, I wonder, Paul, if we get an Aaron Glenn or a Flores, who can they bring with them? What kind of beastly, mentally strong players that he can bring to help our defense?
That's what I'm excited about too, right? Because when you hire guys, naturally the next question is okay, what coffers are they raiding here? And obviously the Lions coffers are quite exciting, or because again, he's got a Saints and Lions connection. So, man, what pieces would come there? To your point, Flores with the Vikings, who have had a lot of exciting pieces, or he's had the Miami ties, he has the Patriot ties, all these things. Yeah, that to me is always the next fun question because there's all these layers, right? When the Jets eventually hire someone, we're all going to go crazy and have all kinds of reactions. And then the next layer to that is looking ahead to free agency, like, holy shit, all these guys suddenly are on our radar that may not have been previously because of those coaching ties. So that'll be a fascinating part of the process.
Yep. That's all I got today, Paul. I'm in the Edward Ziff warm-up role, so I'll skip the bacon talk and the grids. So I'll let somebody else get on. Have a great.
I appreciate that. Thanks, pal. NY Jets FL joining us here on the show. Yeah, no, easy. He's feeling sick, so I appreciate NY Jets FL stepping up in that role, a key role as the starter, as the starting pitcher there. Thank you very much. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. You got Philly Noodles, baby, here on the show.
What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's popping?
Not much. Yeah. So take on the draft. I mean, I feel like everything's shaken up, right? Titans GM fired, so
yeah,
they're going QB probably. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that'd be my gut.
And I think to recuperate what would happen with Deshaun Watson, the Browns would be stupid not to draft a quarterback. Now that screws the Giants, who should have lost and would have had the first round pick, overall pick. Good on them.
That's true. Yeah,
but I think just because of that, I think Jalen Milroe's crazy for not going back to college.
For sure.
And I think maybe 4 get selected in the top 50, meaning like I think Jackson Dart's going to get some hype, maybe going to like the Raiders probably.
Oh, wow.
Who are going to be desperate to take a shot because they fired their GM just yesterday.
Right, yeah, Tom Telesco, that's right.
So it's either them to say we're trading up and giving whatever we got to give, or we're going to draft probably Jackson Dart out of them. So, I mean, the Jets are going to have whatever falls to their hands as probably a blue chip athlete.
Yeah.
At 7, I don't think you need to move from 7. Now, whether that means you go for a Kelvin Banks or that other Will Campbell kid out of Texas, I think he was.
Kelvin Banks out of Texas. I believe the Will Campbell's. I believe he's the OSU kid, right? Yeah, let me see. Let me pull.
Ohio State. I thought it was Texas.
Oh yeah, he might be. Yeah. I know Kelvin. Yeah, LSU. Yeah, Will Campbell's the LSU offensive lineman. Kelvin Banks is the Texas offensive lineman. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know which one. Like, so somebody has to flip over to a right because we got Olu at left, right? So it kind of makes you like, I don't know. I really was intrigued with Tyler Warren 1,000%.
Oh yeah,
but not at 7. That's too rich for anybody's blood, I think.
Okay.
But I mean. I don't know. It's very intriguing what we could do. I feel like Ted McMillan would just be like a home run if you're losing Devontae, right? Like let's say you move from Adams. That's why without knowing what's going on, Aaron is like, damn it, he's like that paperweight in the middle of like, what are you gonna do in your paperwork?
And he's got so many ripple effects to your point. Because again, if he comes back, Devontae goes back, you probably don't take Ted McMillan with the 7th overall pick if Devontae's back, because Devontae's still relatively young. He's like 31, 32. He just has such a paperweight to your point on the season that if that weight is removed, there's all this, all these things happen. But if he's on there, you're like, oh, okay, we got to do this. So yeah, it's pretty compelling.
Yeah, and Jalen Walker's getting good buzz. That kid, he moves around the line a lot, defensive line. So I think if we don't get Mason Graham, because he could go faster than that.
For sure.
And then we also got to depend on if Saleh becomes a head coach in, let's say, Jacksonville, he's taking a defensive player probably more than likely.
Of course, yeah, because they got Trevor Lawrence. I don't know all the Jaguars' needs off the top of my head, but they won't be in the quarterback market. And BPA, their roster needs extra love. Yeah, I could see that.
So I can see him like not spiting us, but taking what we would like. But if Abdul Carter falls there, he's taking him there. If Abdul Carter falls to us there, we're taking him. Mm-hmm. So it's like I believe I would see Walker or Graham if he falls. But if either option is gone. If they're weary on Walker, man, I guess I'd trade out and try to grab something else and then grab a lineman or Warren and call it a day, I guess.
I love all the options. Again, the Jets could have been, all these people are worried about, don't screw up the tank or anything like that. You know, if you're at 10 or 11, okay, we're having a different conversation. At 7, I think there are so many trapdoors that
Yeah.
2 quarterbacks have to go before the
Yes.
Jets. You mentioned them. Titans, Browns, Giants, Raiders are an incredibly desperate team. One of those motherfuckers, or actually, excuse me, let me rephrase, 2 of those bastards are taking quarterbacks in some
1,000.
combination somewhere,
1,000.
which again pushes other pieces down to us, which is totally fine with me. We want to wait on the quarterback thing and not overreact to what appears to be a poor class. Great. We need more than quarterback, obviously, if this past season wasn't an indication of that. So let's go. So yeah, I'm all on board. There's so many fun options.
And then, head coach, man, I'm feeling lost now. You know, the Vrabel thing, fine, that happened, but now it's like Aaron Glenn sounds great. Flores sounds a little better. I hate to be like that, just because he's got experience. And if he's learned anything, listen, the whole he's learned anything, man, sometimes you get that job and then, you know, you feel like everybody's against you and you just got to get out of that job. So he's out of that job. He's been out of that job, you know? So I feel like Flores has got to be ahead of Glenn just because, man. But it probably – Jack, come over here, buddy. Come on. It just might end up being Glenn just for that Patriot move. Woody might get a Woody. Woody might get a Woody.
hey, that works for me. Again, I think there are a lot of good options out there for a head coach for the Jets, despite what some people were saying in the process. How could you not be intrigued by Flores? How can you not be intrigued by Glenn? Like, again, there are disaster ones and a lot of us like Arthur Smith, oh God, or, you know, a couple of those kind of guys. But the fact is, I don't know if we're going to be swimming in those waters, so we should be able to avoid that. Whoa! Who's this?
That's Jet. He's the winner.
Oh, yeah. Look at Jet. Look at that bastard. Look at him. Oh, yeah. Nice. Good to see you, Jet. How old is Jet?
He's 2 years old. He's going to be 3.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
He moves like a jet.
Yeah?
It
looks like he could be wily. Yeah. Let's get a updated 40 time on Jet there.
Yeah, I'll run the clock.
I love that. That's beautiful. Well, yeah, awesome. Well, cup of Philly noodles. Thanks for jumping on, brother.
Yes, sir. You got it.
Appreciate you. All right, you have a great one. And look at Jet, baby. Wonderful dog. Great name. Great name. I do not eat dogs. Paul sounds like he wanted to eat that dog. No, I don't. I don't eat dogs. I haven't had dogs since my parents. We had 3 dogs. We had Angel, a Pekingese poodle. We had Rolex, who was this fat Dalmatian. And then we had Dallas, who was this Rottweiler Doberman Pinscher mix. God rest all their souls. All of them, unfortunately, have passed away. But those are the 3 dogs growing up for me. I love dogs. I have not had dogs in my adult life on my own, but maybe one day. I know my fiance wants them. Dogs are great animals. Dogs are great animals. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here. We'll go with Dave Briga here on the program. What's up, Dave?
Paul, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good to see you, pal.
Getting over a cold, so my voice isn't too strong, you know?
No, that's okay.
Yeah, so you got your Notre Dame hat on there.
There we go, baby. Let's go.
It always brings me visions of Lou Holtz, who we know is a terrible guy. Just a
unbelievable. God awful.
Every time I see him, he makes me sick. But congratulations, you know.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
My nephew was a big Notre Dame fan, so he was happy.
Oh, he's got good taste. Yeah.
Yeah. And your dad's happy, I guess, this morning, too.
Oh, yeah, he's losing it. I got the text this morning. I don't know if he stayed up for the end of it, but I was getting texts this morning about it, so that was awesome. That's good. I'm happy for my dad, too.
Well, I think Aaron Glenn put himself out in the front, don't you?
Yeah, I love that. I got a good hearty laugh over that yesterday, so I already loved him a lot, but how does that not put him on the top of the list? We hate the Patriots, so that was beautiful.
I think right now he's probably the guy that's going to get the job. You know, I really do.
Seems like it.
I think the one thing that people don't really understand is that if we get Mr. Borgonzi in there, I don't know if he's going to be the GM. You know, he's the flavor of the month because he's with the Chiefs.
Correct.
Yeah, you know, really you're not taking into consideration that Spags may be a real option here. You know, Spags or Nagy. I mean, you know, the one thing that we have to remember for the head coach, bringing in the assistants is the most important thing. It's, you know, without the assistants, you're not going anywhere. And that's the hardest thing to build is the staff. you have to have a tremendous staff in place today. And that's the one thing that those, I think, either Nagy or especially Spags, this man has tremendous contacts. He has tremendous intelligence. He's a leader of men. I mean, this is what the young guys don't understand about him. I mean, I know you guys are all poo-pooing him because, he's quote-unquote old, apparently, to some of the guys. And I understand that fully. I understand it. But what you're not understanding is that this man had no players in St. Louis. The owner wanted out. Once Spags gets in the room with Berganzi, you never know if he's the GM. You do not know what's going to happen. Especially, especially Woody might really take a liking to this man. He's tired of these first timers just in and out the door. This is a guy that, I know he's 65 years old, Spagnolo?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. That guy doesn't look 65, but he's as bright as a bulb. I mean, this guy is bright. I mean, he's been with Andy Reid.
Yeah, he's got a lot going for him. Four-time Super Bowl champion. He's been with Andy Reid forever. He's been a head coach before. It went miserably, but to your point, there's a lot of factors in that.
Yes,
and obviously the connection to Borgonzi. So
he had no quarterback.
Well, that too. That didn't help. That did not help old Spags.
If he gets in the room, I don't think it's an impossibility of him getting this job.
No. Yeah, it's definitely not impossible. Obviously, the Jets are talking to him, and they're speaking with Borgonzi. So, any chief connections? How do you not, make those natural connections? Absolutely, he's in the running. Sure.
Right. To me, I mean, I would rather have Steve Spagnolo than Nagy. I would rather have one of the two men.
I'd agree with that.
It's either Aaron Glenn or Spags. It's to me. I don't want Flores. He's too much baggage. He's too much baggage.
Yeah. There's extracurricular there.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like he's turned a page. I don't want to look at him as that.
Yeah.
The things that
second chances. That's what America is. I get it. Yeah.
But I think with the Jets, I think Glenn is a more solid choice. And as far as the draft goes, these men, the new men will just they'll do what they have to do. With Rodgers, with whatever. That's all in the air right now. I mean, everything is based right now on establishing the GM. Getting the coach with the staff, you have to have that staff. We don't want this solid garbage again. That man had nobody on his staff. He had nobody. We see it. The coaches we had were the worst ever in this organization. And as far as Saleh going to Jacksonville, well, that owner is blind if he takes him. He's just this guy he's not a head coach. I mean, Allen has proclaimed it many times, and we saw it. Anybody giving this guy a second chance right off the bat, they're insane.
He's got 2 interview requests, so he has or will interview at Jacksonville and then Las Vegas. Those are 2 of the openings. He's looking at it at head coach, which is crazy.
Well, he'll destroy. He has no discipline. The man is totally undisciplined. He's a poor leader of men. All I had to do was see Aaron Rodgers push him away. That's all I had to see. Then I knew what he was. I mean, come on. If your quarterback pushes you, come on. Remember the argument Phil Simms had with Bill Parcells?
Oh, yeah.
Go sit on the bench and shut up. That's what he told.
Yeah.
I mean,
we didn't see that from Saleh. No.
That's not today's day and age. We know that's not going to happen. But I mean, this Saleh, I mean, he's just a sad case for a head coach. But anyway, good luck to your Notre Dame team. They're going to need it. Ohio State, if they win that game, man, that's a tough team to beat.
That's
They're wrapped up. But it'll be a good game.
Yeah, I hope so.
It'll be a good game. Okay, Paul, good checking in with you.
Appreciate it, Dave. Thank you so much for the call. That's great. And Dave has put a name out into the ethos. Steve Spagnolo is part of the family, and he must be considered for the head coach position. Dave Brigham, baby. I appreciate when Dave is able to call into the show. He has put Spags' name out into the ethos. I don't know what kind of accent I'm doing here, but I think you guys are picking up what I'm putting down here as another possibility for the New York Jets. By the way, what do we get here? Oh, wow. Here's a little news nugget from the Jets. We're playing a home game in London So let's hope that's not Jets Cowboys, I guess, because that's one of the ones we circled. So I just got that notification. We're going to have a London game, Jet fans. Let me see if there's any info on this. Let's before we get back to the phone lines. It's just coming in. Jets will have a home game in London. This is off the app, and they just tweeted this too. Let's see. Getting the Jets app up here. Breaking news. Jets will return to London in 2025, set to host a game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They played last October in 2021 and in 2015. So let's see. National Football League announced Friday the Jets will play an international game in London during the 2025 season. The Green and White will host one of their home games at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the only purpose-built NFL stadium outside. This is from Jaime Elhai. We're excited to bring the unique and entertaining atmosphere of a New York Jets home game to London as part of the 2025 International Games. It's another great opportunity for our organization to build upon our brand and fandom in the UK, which we've enjoyed cultivating the last few years. The success of the NFL's International Games speaks directly to the sport's increasing global reach, and we're proud to continue as ambassadors of the game. The international contest will mark the Jets' third game in Tottenham in 5 seasons, but first as the quote-unquote home club. As the visiting team at the stadium referred to by some as New White Hart Lane, the Jets dropped one-score contest to the Atlanta Falcons and the Minnesota Vikings in 2021 and last October, respectively. The Jets' opponent at Tottenham, along with the game date and kickoff, will be announced when the NFL's full schedule is released this spring. Normally, we get those games early, so the full schedule is released in May, and then we normally get these international games announced early. Sometimes that can come in April. The 3 teams that are going to be hosting games in 2025 are the New York Jets, Cleveland Browns, and Jacksonville Jaguars as part of the London slate for the international games. NFL UK and Ireland general manager Henry Hodgson announced. So there you go. This year's London game will be the 5th regular season game played by the Jets outside of the United States. In the regular season, the Jets have won twice on international stage, 1913 of the Bills in Toronto in 2009 before 27-14 takedown of the Dolphins at Wembley Stadium in 2015. Chris Ivory, I remember you fondly. There you go. So sorry, Jet fans, you're losing a home game. So sorry about that. Sorry about that. That's correct, Johnny Football. That means 8 games at MetLife. Because of the new 17-game schedule, you get... it used to be 16 games, 8-8, and then you have the rotating schedule of, because we're on a 17-game schedule now, of 9 at home, 8 at home, 9 at home, 8 at home, all that jazz. But yeah, the Jets are losing a home game, unfortunately. So there you go. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got our boy B-Mac. Bum, 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 bum. B-Mac. What's up, B-Mac?
Hey, Paul. Good morning to you.
Hey, good luck in the playoffs, by the way, pal.
Yeah, Packers in the playoffs, but I think we're gonna get bounced out.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
I just think that we're coming in, we're too wounded. Christian Watson's hurt. Love is banged up, but he's gonna play. But he hasn't been playing his best football. And Philly looks like they're on a tail.
They look pretty good
on the road. And,
hey, you guys played. That was the Brazil game, right? Week 1.
Brazil
Eagles
game
Packers
was pretty close. Yeah,
it was. It was a fun game. Yeah,
but, we'll see. Like I said, any given Sunday, but I just
for sure.
I just don't have confidence. Plus Matt LaFleur is getting a little bit, shaky for me.
Ooh, okay.
All right. Play calling decisions lately. So
I understand.
But there's an impact on channel to get to the Jet channel. So let's talk Jet.
Of course.
Yeah. Now, two questions. One about the coaching thing, and the other one, of course, about Rodgers. But
sure,
I want to get where the coach one first. Now I know there's a lot of candidates out there that the Jets already interviewed. Glenn. I think they interviewed Brian Flores, I believe, right?
They have not interviewed Flores yet. No.
All right. So no Flores yet, but they did get Rex. They did they did Rex. They did a couple of guys. But with the Mike Vrabel thing, and they did Mike Vrabel too. But the Mike Vrabel thing, do you think he's using the Jets to get for leverage to get to the Patriots since now Mayo's out?
I don't know if he did it on purpose. Like he said, I'm going to take this interview. This is going to piss off the Patriots, and they're going to come crawling to me. I don't think he needed to because, like I said, he's a 3-time Super Bowl champion with the Patriots. He's in their Ring of Honor. I don't think he needed the additional of whatever that is to make it happen. If the Patriots wanted him, the Patriots wanted him. So, no, I don't think he purposely took the interview for any kind of leverage. Now, maybe it by circumstance worked out that way. Jets bring him in. The Patriots are like, oh, hell no. And then they do what they can to say, okay, we're firing John Mayo. Maybe. But I from everything I hear from Zach Rosenblatt and Vrabel and everything, I haven't heard directly from Vrabel, just from the Zach Rosenblatt stuff that I read and everything. I don't think it was purposeful leverage by Vrabel to try to fuck around with the Jets. I think it was Patriots inspired.
And then the Rex thing. I don't know, man. Getting Rex, it seems like it's going backwards to me. It's like it's trying to relive the glory days and go to a blast in the past. I know the last time he was with y'all, he had major success, but that was a long time ago. You know, in 2025 now, and I don't know if his ignore the background.
Oh, sorry, it's just getting really intense. It's getting hot in here.
Yeah, ignore the background. But I don't think you know, his style of coaching translates in today's NFL. Do you think I'm wrong with that, or do you think?
I mean, if we're being honest, I think Rex Ryan sort of was falling out of favor at the end of his tenure. I heard Joe Caparoso say that, and I agreed. Like when we're getting into what was his final year? What was that? So 2014. Once we're getting to 2014, it seemed like things were falling out of favor then too. So. Yeah, if he was losing it in 2014 of like, is he still with everything? I think fast forward 8 seasons later, you're like, eh. So yeah, I'm not so sure if he has the flavor. Again, I know Rex Ryan knows how to coach defensive football, but the advancements of offense, him being out of the circle for 8 seasons, even being an ESPN analyst, that's closer than me on the couch, I guess. But, like, you know, not being on the NFL sideline, there's something different about that. So, I don't know if he still has it. Not just for the defense. The defense, I'm sure he has. But everything else that's included with being a coach, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I think the best 2 coaches for the Jets is Babel or Flores. You know, 2 guys who are vets that done it, that can get in these guys' faces. You know, if a new first-time head coach like Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn come along, maybe that may be a little bit of a process if you're going to have success immediately. But I think Vrabel and Glenn, who experience this guys, will get, you know. But on to my Rogers question real quick.
Sure, yeah.
Now, I know now since the season's over, you know, we all saw how he played this year. The numbers, we look at the numbers, right? 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, you know, 3,800 yards and all. Yeah. How do you evaluate the numbers? Do you think that because some people say people lie, but the numbers don't, right? And
I love that. Yeah, that's what they say.
A lot of people, you know, think, well, not me, because to me the numbers are the numbers, but some people think the numbers are deflated from the eye test and how he played. How do you evaluate that and what you think about that?
I think multiple things can be true. His numbers are among the best single season we've ever seen for a Jets quarterback. That's true. Look at all the numbers. He's 3rd all-time in single season passing touchdowns. He's 3rd all-time in single season passing yards. That's all true. Another stat that's not as popular, the stat I'm about to trot out, people don't say every day, but attempts of how many times he's thrown around the football. He was up there among the league leaders in throwing the football a lot. So efficiency wasn't really there on the numbers. If we want to go to an advanced analytic level, we're here of passing yards, touchdowns, interceptions, completion percentage, some of those raw stats we all talk about. The one above that is like, okay, how many times did he throw around the pigskin? How efficient was he? Yards per attempt. There's a lot of those kind of numbers you can look and go, it wasn't as great. So, again, I think multiple things can be true. I think Aaron Rodgers, from a passing perspective, we've gone weeks where the Jets didn't score a single touchdown. Aaron Rodgers had 4 touchdown passes in Week 18. I mean, terrific. I mean, that's great. So I think their numbers could tell all kinds of stories. You're right. People lie, numbers don't. People lie, tape doesn't. All of those sayings are true. The fact of the matter is that Rodgers had a very nice year. Did he have the year we were all hoping for with the rest of the team? Unfortunately, not. That's the truth. He had multiple moments throughout games or this season where he had a chance to win the game. And I remember saying it, even if I was watching the game by myself, I said it out loud. This is why we brought Aaron Rodgers. In the Vikings game, we just mentioned London. Jets are playing in London again next year. The one off that I was like, here, this is exactly why we got Aaron Rodgers. Here's your moment, Aaron. Win the game, and we're like, okay, boom. This is why we got the Hall of Famer. And he had a lot of opportunities at that this season, and unfortunately, he flopped a lot. Now, if you want to blame him or other people, the thing with the quarterback is you probably get too much of the blame. And if things go wrong, you don't get, or things go right, you don't always get all the credit. So it just is what it is with the quarterback position. You get too much of I said that incorrectly, but you either get too much of the credit, too much of the blame. There's normally you miss the piece that's in the middle. So some of the numbers are intriguing for Aaron.
Yeah, and then real quick, my last thing. About
sure.
The things I know you brought up. Are you because you were in favor of bringing him back, right? And I think
Aaron?
You.
Sure, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But I think you did brought up the injury concerns. And,
yes.
I just want to say that I know the last 3 years, right, the injuries, but 2 of those last 3 he played all 17 games. So
that's
it's
true.
Not like he missed any multiple time. Like I said, and Achilles injury was just poor luck. I mean, the Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles at age 28. Like Achilles 100%. Happened to anybody. Yes. And then 2022 and 2024, he played every game. So I just think the injury thing is a little bit out of too much out of control a little bit. But what's your response?
I appreciate that. Thanks for the call, B-Mac. Yeah, I'll just say this. I'm not saying the injury thing in terms of availability because that's a great point. In 2022, the final year with the Packers, where he broke his thumb and played through it. Tough SOB. I'm not questioning the toughness. Tough SOB. He played through it. This year that just happened, he played all 17. He was there, but he was dealing with a hamstring tear, an ankle sprain, a knee sprain. The problem is just the injuries that they're happening. Again, I'm not questioning the toughness, just that the injuries happened. And we're getting lesser Rodgers, and coaches and everyone are saying, well, Aaron was battling through injuries. Well, okay, that if we're not going to use that as an excuse, the way that he's powering through them, that's affecting his play. And I'm just saying, if he busted his thumb in 2022, 2023 his Achilles exploded, and then this year the hamstring, ankle, and knee, now it's starting to be a trend with the injuries. And when Aaron Rodgers isn't the full Aaron Rodgers with the injuries, we've seen what that looks like this year, and that doesn't always look great. That just has to be a factor in the conversation. Let's go back to the phone lines. Hep is here on the show. What's up, Hep?
Hey, fellas. Hey, Paul. Hey, listen, I'm curious. You think the NFL is blackballing Chucky?
It's an interesting question. Apparently, according to Tom Pelissero, no, because Chucky had the opportunity to just straight up be the Saints offensive coordinator. He said no thanks. Right. So he just kind of he solely served in a consultant role, and that's as far as he wanted to go. So no, I don't think so, unless there's something none of us are hearing about. He could have taken the Saints job and the NFL said no or something. So no, no, because think about this. Brian Flores still has an ongoing legal case with the National Football League, and he's maintained jobs in Pittsburgh and Minnesota, and he's vying to be a head coach again. So I would say no, even with John Gruden stuff for the NFL. Brian Flores still has a job, so no, I wouldn't think so.
Oh, okay. I was just curious because he hasn't even got a little bit of a whisper for
which is crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. He hasn't gotten an interview yet because again there was a little bit of whispers ahead of this cycle like, hey man, watch out for John Gruden. I'm like, okay, let's see. But yeah, so far I don't think he's gotten an interview yet.
I think that if Gruden got back into the league, he would pull a Belichick. Do you remember when Belichick, they accused him of cheating and they came back and they almost had that undefeated season?
Yeah. He's a guy who could be motivated 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I just seen the way, I remember they would pile on the points, too. They'd be it was like the fourth quarter, they were leading by 30 points, and they were still scoring touchdowns. They were like, fuck 100%. You.
Yeah, I know. Wow, those best were so annoying. But yeah, good for them. They were intrinsically and obviously internally, externally, everything motivated from all that. So they had plenty of ammunition, that's for sure.
Yeah, I do owe the Giants that I owe the Giants one for winning that game against the Patriots because that would have been unbearable to listen to that.
100%. So this is why, again, I got some hater. They're like, "What the fuck? You got a Giant singing here?" Think about this, folks. Think about this of how important this piece of Giants memorabilia is here over here. If Eli Manning wasn't born, Tom Brady would have 9 Super Bowl rings. Think about that. That's disgusting. Yeah. So
and
Eli Manning
season.
100%. Eli Manning, God bless you for your service. You're a first ballot Hall of Famer, brother. Love you. Love you. I was the biggest Giants fan of all time. God bless. Yes.
I was too. So. That day I was too. All right, guys. I love you. I'll see you later.
I appreciate the call, Hep. So blessed be he, baby. Blessed be he. 9 Super Bowl rings, a 19-0 season. Ugh, I have too many Patriot fans in my life. I don't want any part of that garbage. Anywho, let's go back to the phone lines. I got our boy DNY for Live Devin here on the show. What's up, brother?
What's going on, BG? What's going on, my boy?
Hey man. Excited, man.
Hey, I know this is like a lull time for us in that, yes, we're waiting on this decision to be made. Sure. And I kind of want it to be made sooner rather than later, but I'm telling myself I need to be patient. Right.
Right. Yeah. You want to get
I'm going to tell you what, though, man, like that whole Aaron Glenn situation, that just totally like bumped him up for me, man. Like I was like, he's in my top 5. I would definitely say that in terms of coaching that I would like. Yeah. But I think he might have been bumped up a little bit more because he's like, no, I don't want to do with y'all.
Stock
and
up,
he's
baby.
A former Jets. Yeah, just it's something about that just rang true. You know what I mean? And like even with the Vrabel situation, like I like Vrabel, but it kind of feel like, yeah, you know what? If I was a Pats fan, like he needs to be home with them, which I'm not happy about. But you know what? That's okay. Let's just get us so I think I'm like pretty much down to Flores, or Aaron Glenn. I'm not going to turn my nose up at Vrabel if something turns around and he says, but to get somebody in here like Flores or Aaron Glenn, but especially Aaron Glenn, if he could turn it around, I'm just nervous about that first time. You know what I mean? Like we just sung that song one too many times, but the other side about it is that we've sung it so many times that we've got to hit on it at least once, right?
That's right. We're due. That's right.
We're due. Like,
I love that.
We're way overdue. Like, come on, it's our time, man. I do appreciate the process that they're doing of taking their time and interviewing all of these people. I know it's like a whole round robin of folks, but just get it right, man. Was it Woody that said he want to have the next head coach be like the same person when his son graduates high school? Or
he
something
did.
Like that?
Yes, that's Woody says that he wants.
Dude, that would. Can you imagine the level of success that we've sustained if that reigns true?
To have someone for like 15 years, I mean, that would be, again, you're seeing all these other, right? The Andy Reids, the Mike Tomlins, like, man, it's a Harbaugh's, right? It's so cool to see. Right. I'm just so used to this head coaching search process. I'm like, oh yeah, another 3 or 4 years, we're due to fire somebody and go through this again. It would be nice to just be playoffs and this and that. And wow, look at the progression over year 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, we just haven't been there in so long. It's just it's hard to even fathom.
Yeah, I think Spags too, man. Spags is intriguing to me. You know what I mean? Like this will be his other time around. He's been around Andy Reid. Like he soaked up a lot of knowledge on the offensive side of the ball. I'm sure that he could bring in somebody that he would know would be efficient. Because the other thing about that, the reason that I like Flores and the reason that I like these guys that have been around at least once already, is because they know that this is like the last opportunity, right. and not for nothing. Like if you're a Flores dude that's coming in and there's some controversy surrounding you, you have no room for failure. So you got to succeed. And that motivation kind of like, I like that. I like the fact that knowing that a coach is coming in here saying that, oh, this is going to be even with Vrabel, he's had, this will be his second bite at the apple. So it's not going to be like, if it doesn't go well, I don't know if he's going to get a third, you know what I mean? So I really like that, man. But it's just like, I just wanted to come in and just throw my little 2 cents out there. But I don't know, man. There's some really good candidates. As long as we don't hire some old, I've never heard of guy, but you better be good. If like, I'm going to trust the process.
Yes.
Trust the process. But like, I'm really nervous about it, man. It's like, I'm tired of losing, man. I'm so tired of losing, bro. So tired of it, man. It's
we need someone in here, man. We just need somebody in here.
For real, man. Just need somebody to be just like, just know what the hell they're doing, man. Just a coach, a real coach. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't want to look at this. I want to be looking at the game and going, great decision. I agree with that. Great decision. That's why I want to come on here. I want to talk to you after the game and be like, man, don't it feel good to have a head coach that know what the hell they're doing?
Yeah, man. Look at that great decision here. Look how he outfoxed the opponent in this key situation. He knew the rules better. Oh, yes.
Right.
I've been waiting for that all my life. Yes.
Man. Bye, bro, game. But I just wanted to check in, man, and just throw it out there, man. I just hoping for this search to go well, bro. And rest of y'all out there, appreciate all the Jets fan, man. We got to stay hanging there, man. We got to keep supporting each other, and we need these shows like this, man. Because I don't even listen to ESPN on that crap, bro. Because I can't handle it, bro. Like every time I turn, I'm like, man, shut up.
I get that too much, man. So I appreciate it. Thanks for the support, Devin.
No problem, brother. Later.
There he is. DNY for life, baby. Which, by the way, you can see him on the scrolling ticker down there. He is in our top 5, baby, of most gifted. He's been doing the most gifting so far in this current contest, baby. You see him there on the rankings. Boop, boop. Number 4, 28 gifted memberships so far this month. Not too shabby. We got nearly 700 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. Let's get one more caller in. We're going to go to Johnny Boy to wrap up the show. What's up, Johnny?
BG, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good. Jets Worldwide, wide.
Yeah, man. Tonight, 7:30.
Wheel of Fortune?
Wheel of Misfortune. Yep.
Ooh, okay. Great. Who's on? Do we know who's on? Who's on?
Yeah, Terrence, the big fella, and D Murph.
Oh, nice. Oh, great. That's cool. I love that.
Real quick, I wanted to touch on the Aaron Rodgers thing real fast and what you said.
Yeah.
Knee, ankle, right, and then hamstring.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
With him, if he comes back or whatever, is he going to be the same way in the sense of like, I'm okay because you could give me some painkillers and I could get through a game knowing that he couldn't really move out there? That would be one of my questions that I would ask. I hope that he would say, no, let's do what's right for the organization right now. Let the guys rock, my backup or whatever, until I get completely healed, because the season's more important than just a couple of games that I would have to miss.
Yeah, because I like that he's tough, but yeah, to your point, it's not just about, hey, you've got the Medal of Honor for trudging through this game. No, I just want I want what's best for the team. I wish Brett Favre in 2008 would have let the rest of the team know that he has this torn bicep and that Kellen Clemens should probably come in. Not that I'm a huge Kellen Clemens guy, but when you're powering through and sucking and we're all like, what the hell's going on out there? Obviously, Aaron Rodgers struggled during those games that he was battling through the majority of these injuries, and you would think a healthy Tyrod Taylor could have kept this afloat, and God knows how the season could have changed 100%.
Exactly. So did he have a good season? Yeah, he did. It's what we were asking. We were asking for average play and all that. And I think he might have probably done a lot better than that. It's just that everything else around him regressed. Our defense, our special teams, the coaching staff. It was just crap, man. So I don't know, man. That dude I'm so torn with the Aaron Rodgers stuff. But anyways, I wanted to ask you in regards to the hiring of and the asking of these damn head coaches, right? Why in the world are we asking to do an interview to Nathaniel Hackett? Like, why are the Jets doing these type of names and putting that out there? Like, what's the sense of it? You know what Hackett already is. You saw what he did over in Denver. You saw what he did with the Jets. I just wanted to get your reasoning behind it. Like, I don't understand it. Like, that's a legit thing. It went crazy last night that they're already asking Nathaniel Hackett to come in. They're gonna ask Ulbrich. Is it because maybe they want to see if they're gonna want to keep an Ulbrich for whoever comes in on, or I hope Hackett is gonna be the next greatest coffee bringer in the Jets organization. I don't know, man. I just wanted to get your opinion on that, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Hey, real quick before you get out, just Ephraim's asking, the Johnny's YouTube channel for the Wheel of Misfortune, that is tonight on Jets Worldwide, correct?
Yep, Jets Worldwide, all one word, Jets Worldwide. And shout out to Afra, man. That dude's dope, bro. Hey, if we need a GM, that's the guy right there, man.
Hey, there you go.
Check them out.
Love it. Thanks for the call, Johnny. Yeah, real quick. To me, I'm going to be honest. I think it's as simple as this. They're courtesy calls. That's what they are. Of Hackett or Ulbrich or any of these guys getting an interview of going through. It's just common courtesy. I wouldn't look at anything into it. In terms of anyone being retained, that is very rare for a Jeff Ulbrich, a Hackett, a Brant Boyer, who's obviously very unique, to have things, the season happen, new coaching staff comes in, he's like, yeah, I'll keep you. They want their own guys normally. By the way, shout out to DNY for Life here, 5 Boy Green Coffee Club memberships at the buzzer. Love to see it. There you go. 5 Boy Green Coffee Club memberships being added to the pile for our guy DNY for Life. Let's read those 5 new members real quick, and then I got to run to the radio station here, and we'll see what's popping. So let's do that. Here are the 5 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Again, shout out to DNY for Life, a.k.a. Devin. Dodgy Hamstring. Hey, we saw a few of those this year. ASOF_18, David West, Robert Walsh, and Michael Robinson, all new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club, which again, as you see here, DNY for Life is now in 3rd place in our contest. We have number 1 Austrian Jet fan at 46, J-Boy at 45, DNY for Life at 33, Jimmy Jets at 30, and the rounding out with Florida Lily and Big D with 11 gifted membership so far this month. Those are 5 more raffle tickets for DNY for Life for a great contest at the end of the month. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Again, we'll be back for Jake Asman Show coming up around 4 o'clock on this show, and also Jake Ashman's multi-streaming. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you. Take care.